Look, 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 look. What an authentic marvel of a tuna-filled empanada that turns out this impressive and is very easy to make.
Today, we're going to make a great recipe that you can enjoy for dinner, for a snack, for breakfast, as an appetizer, and to share. It's always a good choice because we're going to make a super easy but incredibly delicious empanada with tuna or bonito or whatever you want to call it. So let's get started because it's your turn to enjoy to the fullest.
I begin by placing 3.5 cups, 450 grams of flour in a large bowl and make a volcano-shaped well in the center. What I'll do is pour in 3/5 of a cup or 135 milliliters of water here and also half a cup or 100 milliliters of oil. Also, I'm going to add a bit of flavor with a tablespoon of sugar. This won't be a sweet recipe, but it works well. Add another tablespoon of vinegar. These two will combine to make the dough perfect. Also, a teaspoon of salt, which is about 7 grams. We're going to mix this, so first you stir the inside, mix it very well, and little by little you start incorporating the flour from the sides. Remember, I'll say it again, mix it very, very well so that you get a kind of dense dough. When it starts to get hard to knead with a spatula or a wooden spoon, that's when you know. And now it's time to do it by hand. I like to do it with gloves on and now knead it really, really well. But don't wear yourself out. You don't need to make it a masterpiece. With 3 or 4 minutes, you'll get a ball of dough you can work with, like the one you see here. It's that easy. While it rests for a little while, what we'll do is make the filling. For this, I take 4 cloves of garlic and cut them into small cubes. As you can see, I make strips and then chop them. We're going to use this same technique with 2 onions. So I do the same thing. I cut it in half, make some strips with the knife, and then chop them. This way you get really small cubes that practically fall apart. Now we take a pan, add a splash of oil over medium-high heat, and once it's hot, we're going to add the garlic. There it is. This way, we let it brown a little. Once it's a little brown, you add all the onion in. And this onion is interesting. If you want, you can add a pinch of salt. That way, it will release its juices first and you'll finish a little sooner. But that's optional. As you can see, I add it. What isn't optional is stirring from time to time. And meanwhile, let's take a pepper and cut it into strips. You can use red pepper, you can use green pepper, or half red and half green, whichever you prefer. It's the same thing. Cut them into strips and then chop them so you get nice small cubes. Once the onion is soft, you add this pepper. As you can see, mine was both red and green. And what I'll do is stir it from time to time until the pepper is also cooked and more or less soft. Look, I think I've got it now. So here we go with another essential ingredient, crushed tomato. In my case, 300 grams or 1.5 cups. Oh, are we putting it all in? It could also be homemade tomato, that's perfectly fine. Then a teaspoon of paprika, in my case, the sweet kind, but you can use a mix if you prefer. Another teaspoon of oregano and black pepper. As always, to your personal taste, add plenty, it gives it a great flavor. Also, a little bit of basil and a little bit of salt. This combination of spices goes fantastic with the tomato, onion, garlic, and pepper. And it will make an incredible filling for an empanada like today's. As you can see, I'm already stirring, so everything starts to cook a little bit. We let the water evaporate a bit and then add tuna or bonito, 160 grams or 2 small cans. In my case, it's natural tuna. What I do is add it with all the liquid. And simply, once I have it, I mash it a bit so there are small pieces, and then just stir it up.
As you can see, I'm using natural tuna, so I use the liquid too because, hey, it adds a bit of flavor. If you want to use tuna in oil, if I were you, I'd skip it. That way you don't make the mixture too oily and you don't
end up with too much.
Too strong, so I recommend you use natural tuna or remove the oil.
Once everything is well mixed, add an extra ingredient to turn it into pure magic. A little bit of fried tomato, specifically 50 grams, 1/4 cup. This, besides giving it a bit of color, helps the flavors blend better. It turns out really good. It's something not many people do, but to me that combination is fantastic. Once everything is well cooked, take it off the heat. Now we take the dough. As you can see, I'm dividing it in two, and it's not perfect, of course. One is always going to be a little bigger than the other. Well, this one is a bit bigger. This is the first one we're going to roll out. So we take a rolling pin and roll. Roll until it's the size of the tray we want to use. Then we roll out the one that was nearly the same size, but just a bit smaller. And we're going to leave it rolled out here by hand. Also, as you'll notice, these are really thin layers. The dough, if it's rolled out well, will be very thin. And here we start adding the filling little by little until we cover the entire bottom of our dough. But if you notice, always leave at least 1 centimeter at the edge. Then we place the other dough on top so that it covers it. And thanks to that edge we left free, we can seal it so we fold it inward. If you want, wet the edge with a little water and use a fork to press and poke the surface. Now into the oven, which I have preheated to 200 degrees Celsius, that's about 395 Fahrenheit, with heat from above and below. After 25 minutes, I open it and brush the surface with beaten egg. This is optional, but you'll see how it gives a fantastic shine. Just like that, cover the whole surface and then back in for another 5 or 10 minutes, about 30 or 35 minutes in total, until it looks amazing like this. Let me remind you, 25 minutes without the egg and then another 5 or 10 minutes with the egg, and you'll have this real masterpiece. Look, how amazing it looks. And now you know the most important thing in people and in recipes is what's inside. And the inside of this pie leaves no one indifferent. A thick filling on a thin bread. We've got it all. A filling, a great recipe that if you try it, you'll want seconds. You're sure to love it.
And here you catch me. This is so delicious, oh my. You see how super
thin the dough is and how good the filling is?
and thick it is? That makes this a super winning recipe. Here you have the ingredients, as always, so you can make it at home.
Without any problem.
And also, hey, since we're here, tell me what's your favorite empanada? And if you also tell me where you've had it, 2 for 1, that way we all learn together. And if you want to learn more, remember that I have hundreds of recipes on the channel. Take a look and find your next favorite recipe. But if you're looking for something sweet, I have Saladolandia, my dessert channel with hundreds of ideas that you'll also love. And I say keep enjoying! Yay, how delicious!